Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lee Hall. It is Division 3 action in the Zoom Racing League. We've got an exciting new event here as we have some good penalties already. Hopefully, maybe we can take that away. Not sure what's happening with Barney, but glad that you're with us. It is a sprint qualifying session here today at COTA in the United States, in Austin, Texas. And unfortunately, Barney disqualified, as you can see, but we're on board with BuzzGod on his first flying lap as we start the first qualifying session. I am joined by Ethan Patel. And Ethan Patel, how are you tonight?
Doing great up here in Texas. You know, this is like a home ground for me, for the drivers on the grid as well. It's gonna be exciting to see this track. Championship context, BuzzGods has already won the championship, so he's just gonna be looking for a good finish. I think he's British, so he's gonna want to try to win this race in America. His teammate OG, this is a home Grand Prix for him. He is from Texas, and he's gonna be looking to have a great race. He does have a bit of a cold or flu, we're not too sure, so maybe he'll have something like a flu game from Michael Jordan there. In terms of Constructors Championship, Red Bull need 1 point to clinch the Constructors, which, barring something crazy, should happen today, with Red Bull winning both titles.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw a big snap of oversteer there from BuzzGod as he started to cross the line. He still puts in the fastest lap. Roberto about 2/10 behind him at a 1:32.4. But BuzzGod obviously some time to improve there in the last turn already.
Yeah, BuzzGod's just really quick. You know, even with a snap, he's P1 right now. It's going to be exciting to see him in D2 next season, and he's just going to hopefully have a good run there, unlike last season. So
Absolutely. We've got a couple of medium tire runners. Nux in the Haas has put in a 1:34.2, which currently is good enough for P6. We only have 17 drivers on the grid at the moment, so there are some opportunities if you're quick on the medium tire to have a better strategy. But of course, we've got a sprint race coming up, so the strategy changes a little bit.
yeah, I don't know how much these drivers have been practicing, but a 25% strategy is way different than a 50%. There's way less tire wear. Tire wear is a little different, and it's just going to be whoever's going to be on the faster compound at the right time.
Yeah, there are still safety cars, potential for safety cars in the 25%, but yeah, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see who's able to take advantage and work their way up in that session. We've got no lip. I don't know who this is, to be honest with you. Maybe a reserve driver, but no lip.
I believe that is No Lip, formerly known as Pelon.
Okay, oh, I see. Yes, Pelon backwards, very good. Pelon in Division 3 reserving. He's a pretty quick driver, and he's got a decent lap in on the mediums. And looks like he's going for another run right away, maybe, even though he's a little bit low on fuel. Nonetheless, it's a 1:33.8 for him, which puts him in P6. His teammate right above him, a 1:33.6 on the soft tires. And he is going for it again.
Word from his garage is he's a little mad. They're not allowing him to qualify onto hards, which he believes is the quicker tire around here.
Interesting. He wants to start on the hards, but yeah, that's not allowed. So what can he do on the mediums? Can he improve the time he already set? Which would be pretty good.
Took a bit of a break, Pelon did, before in D2. I've had great battles with him. He was in D1, didn't have quite the great season, and then his real life came in front of him, so he took a bit of a break, but now he's reserving and looking for a full-time seat for next season.
Yeah, well, obviously not improving there, so he just dives into the pits. See, there's only 2 drivers out on the track, potentially on a hot lap, and we've got Mr. Robot coming in with no ERS, and he is just coming into the pits. So we're looking at Marino. Marino also not on a push lap, at least I hope he's not, because he's not spending any ERS.
So that Alpine team is going to be interesting this weekend. Marino, not the greatest season in D3, but last weekend in D2, he put on a clinic getting a P3 in Saudi Arabia, which is amazing for a D3 driver that struggled. And then Dan Gutta, who's stepping down from D2 in his first week back in D3 in the Alpine, it's going to be interesting to see how his pace stacks up against the rest of these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen him. He has the pace. He just needs to be a little more consistent. We want to see great things from him. As he puts in a purple sector, but spins. Can he avoid the wall? He does. He's in the grass. And for some reason, he seems to have the strategy where he'll put a lot of laps on the same tire in qualifying, which ends up hurting him in the race. His tires are very hot as he continues to spin around. And over again. So finally settling in and probably coming into the pits to change those tires, I would think.
So, talking about this weekend, it's obviously a sprint qualifying. You're going to see drivers who traditionally aren't good at qualifying maybe starting higher up on the grid for the feature race. As I believe Marino also has a little bit of spin in the Alpine. So maybe that setup that the Alpines are running, not too great. Could just be getting used to the track.
Yeah, he has been spinning over and over
and
again.
Another one.
So he just needs to find his way to the pits. We're on with OG, who has yet to set a time. He's on a fast lap, on the soft tires.
Yep, and OG is one of those drivers, not too fast in qualifying, never has been. Looking to improve, but he is a great race car driver, and maybe the sprint race can help him out, start in a higher position and really try to push his way farther in the driver's standings. I don't know what he could really do, but that Constructors' Championship is just as tight in Red Bull's hands as ever. So.
Yeah, well, OG going to be fighting for spots in the Drivers' Championship, even though Buzzcon has a firm grip on number 1.
Yep.
He is still fighting for positions as he sets a 133.5. That's good enough for P6.
Yeah, so I just looked at him. Kushi is 1 point behind him, so he's going to be looking for a great result here. And that's actually a pretty solid position, being P6. You can make up a few positions. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Kushi, he is on a flyer right now. OG gets out of his way. And here he is through the S's. It's a nice camera angle here. A little bit wide there, but he manages to go through without invalidating. And so he needs to set a time, get on the board. He's the only Ferrari driver out there at the moment. Axelized yet to make an appearance here in COTA.
Yeah, he's been struggling a lot with just the mental that comes in with racing every week. And he's taken a bit of a break, stepping back. Was a front runner for the championship, honestly, at the start of the season, putting in great time trial times, pretty good finishes, I believe, but he made a lot of self errors and kind of got to him.
Oh no, as Kushi invalidates the lap on a corner that you don't normally see people invalidate. He had just put in a purple sector 2, and then he invalidates the corner afterwards. That is heartbreaking. But he's obviously got some pace, so he just needs to put it together. He still has plenty of time to do so. So we'll see what Kushi could bring here. And it looks like he's going to go again right away.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a lot of invalidated laps towards the end of the session, especially in the S's, which also means time penalties in the race. That section is just so hard to nail perfectly without going off track.
Absolutely. It is a very difficult section of the track. There are also some low-speed corners here, which can give you some odd feeling and make you lose traction where you may not expect it. So we'll see how these drivers handle it.
Yeah, because in those low-speed corners, you're kind of going downhill on the traction, so like you could just get a snap of oversteer and put it into the wall.
Yeah, you've got to be really on the ball here, on the money, and have a good setup for the race itself. As Kushi coming through sector 2 again, a sector that he nailed on his first lap. As Roberto takes pole position, provisional pole position for the sprint qualifying. It's a 132.1. You'd think Buzzcon can beat that, but we'll see.
I know, Roberto's a fast qualifier. He has been all season, but again, he kind of reminds me of Axelize, where he just doesn't show up in the race like Buzzcon does.
That is right. It's another purple sector 2 for Kushi, and this time he is not validated. Oh, and he almost invalidates there, but he doesn't, thankfully. He is taking some of these corners way too
he's
aggressively,
invalidated.
and that is heartbreaking. Second to last corner. Avoid the wall until the way to the pits. Gonna change the tires and go out again. He's got just under 5 minutes to do so, so time is running out. Another driver with some pace who has not yet set a lap. It's Marino, who we were on board with earlier, who was spinning over and over again. He's on a flying lap on the soft tires.
This is going to be critical here because I don't think he's going to be able to go into the pits and change his tires, so he needs to set his lap right now. And with Cushy there, I think he pushed too hard on all his laps. He never quite set a banker, so now he's going to have to basically do a one-shot qualifying here.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much only has one chance for it. Maybe two if he's super quick, but it's going to be difficult. What can Marino do? Driver gets out of his way, and here he comes. Final turn. It is across the line, and it's not amazing, but it is P6 for Marino.
P6 right behind his teammate.
Yeah, so both Alpines coming in there in the top 6.
That's good for him. He can hopefully get a stroke of good luck, push his way up the field during the sprint qualifying weekend.
Let's see who's on a flyer at the moment. I want to say... Nope, not Nux.
I believe No Flip, aka Pylon, has set a purple second sector. He's in the third sector right now, maybe being held up by the Alpine in front of him that's also on a push lap.
Oh, this is really awkward.
That gets in the way, kind of tries to get out. Don't know if that's messed up his lap.
Yeah, that is some serious dirty air there for Pylon to have to deal with. I would be pretty upset. But he still goes P3, 132.3.
I don't even think it was dirty air. I think he was just in the way, and it's unfortunate because I believe they were both on push laps. It's just no lip might be a little faster.
Yeah, no question about that. Well, Dan Guda is on 0 lap old soft, so maybe he was not on a push lap, but I'm not sure. Either way, it's very awkward. You don't want to be in the way there. Looks like Pylon's going again. No lip. Just pushing again right away. He's got the fuel. Oh, maybe he doesn't. He has slowed down here and gotten out of the way. For Dan Guda, who now starts his push lap.
To make some impressions in D3, try to secure himself a good seat for next season. We're only one more race after this one until the end of the season, so all of these drivers are trying to impress team principals. Even if they can't move too far up in the standings, having a good seat for next season will be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's now or never. With 2 races left, you really want to put in some good results. What can Dan Guda show us? In the Alpine, he's coming around, and we've got OG out of qualifying, straight into the wall. I don't know that, but maybe. As Dan Guda puts in a 132.9, he improved by 0.4, but that's actually not good enough to improve his standing. As Ziggy crosses the line, now in P2, a 132.1, and so here comes Buzzgod. Back out on the track to set a lap and probably reclaim pole, but we'll see. Got yellow flags everywhere.
So this is gonna be this is gonna be the end of the session. So it's gonna be all the drivers trying to set up their fast laps. I believe we have Freddie Rizal on track. We have Buzzgod on track. I believe most drivers are on track right now, besides Fitz Dickwall and Pylon.
Yeah, Nux has retired from the session in the pits. Buffalo Trace crosses the line and cannot improve, so he'll start another lap. And we're going to go on board with Buzzgod as he starts his flying lap. Your Division 3 World Champion. Here he is into turn 1. Yeah, and
believe the
Roberto has
checkered
sealed his
flag
time.
has dropped.
It has. You're correct. That's exactly right, Ethan. We have a 132.1 from Roberto. Good call.
I believe Freddie Rizal has gone purple through the first sector.
And Buzzcott just invalidated his lap. It was a purple sector 1, but he hopped the curb. Really didn't need to do it either, but
This could be pole for Freddie. He's on a fast lap right in front of Buzzcott. He went purple in sector 1 before Buzzcott took it, but because Buzzcott's retired, I don't think there's anyone faster on the track that could actually set a lap right now.
yeah, we're going to see if Freddie can make this happen for the Aston Martin team. Obviously, a
You know,
really frustrating result for his teammate Barney down there. And it is a purple sector 2 for Mr. Razzle.
Freddie Rizal, he's a quick driver. He also, with Marino, reserved in D2 last week and got a podium P2 finish, which is a great finish. He was on the lead of that race. He's gotten pole before. He's won a race in France. Can he put it on pole? Yes, he can with a 132.1.
Look at that difference, Ethan. What a lap.
That's marginal. That's 4 thousandths of a second.
Very, very slim margins here at the top of D1, or D3, I mean.
And so we have a British driver on, like, it's not pole position, is it? It's
Yeah, well, he's starting from the front for the sprint qualifying, so I don't know if you call it pole, whatever. Doesn't really matter. He's in P1 at the moment. He's starting from the front in the 25%er. That's what matters to him right now. It's Aston Martin out front.
this is going to be quite interesting. You know, Freddie's a fast driver, but he has a lot of people behind him. Roberto, Siggy, and Buzzcott. Round out the top 4.
Absolutely. Some really quick laps out there. Unfortunate that we didn't get to see Buzzcott put in a faster lap. Probably should have gone out earlier, maybe, and done the work earlier. Less pressure, but still a P4 for Buzzcott. He's got the pace. Probably still the favorite. But Freddie Razzle with some serious pace as well. And Buzzcott's going to have to get between Siggy and Roberto first.
Oh,
Marino?
there is no American in the top 7 right now. They're all falling down to the bottom of the grid, so hopefully they can work their way up for the home Grand Prix.
Oh, where is the USA representation? Come on, guys.
Don't know, but we have 2 British drivers in the top 4, so that can't stand.
No. Hopefully
Oh.
nothing awful happens, and no safety car involving the top 4 British drivers on turn 1. Hopefully that does not happen.
You're going to want to try to limit incidents here, but you kind of do want a full push because if something does happen, you could always have another 50% race to get it all back, but you want to try to start up as far up the grid as possible.
Absolutely. So this is the first time that we are doing this in the Zoom Racing League, and so the format here is we had just a short qualifying session, a regular 18-minute session, and now we're going to have a 25% race that is the sprint race to determine the starting qualifying position for the 50% race. So I think you're going to see some drivers push pretty hard here in this. There's not really a reason not to as they start the formation lap. Because like you said, if you screw up, you still got the whole race to make up the positions. But obviously, a great result here can do wonders for your full race, and that is where they hand out the points.
Do we get points for the sprint race?
I'm actually not sure.
Yeah.
I guess I
Because
should have
if
said the
so-
vast majority of points, but I'm not sure.
Because if so, the Red Bull should clinch the World Drivers' Championship or Constructors' Championship right here.
Yeah, I imagine they will anyway, just because
Yeah,
there's only one
that's-
Ferrari out there, right? But
Well, it's if they just get one, they need 1 point. So.
I see. Well,
Actually, well, yeah, yeah, you're right. Actually, Ferrari can't win because both drivers are not here. So, yep.
you never know. We could have a double DNF from Red Bull.
I think it's impossible though, because I think Ferrari would need like the full points in both races to win by 1 point, and so they don't have both drivers here. So the World Constructors Championship belongs to Red Bull.
Ah, unlucky Ferrari. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe in real life. Who knows?
Maybe in real life. They gotta beat Ferrari for that, of course.
That's another trophy to add into that Milton Keynes trophy case. That's really large, dominant years in the early 2010s with Vettel, and now you got Buzzgod up here getting a drivers' championship and a constructors' championship. Maybe he's better than Max.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe Buzzgod's gonna replace Max in the real Ferrari, or in the real Red Bull, I mean.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna be their driver to get the championship. Sweet. Oh, and I believe Dan Gooda actually had a grid penalty, so he qualified P6, but he's down in P11 right now.
That's right. He had some sort of altercation with Barney Goatmere. I'm not sure what happened. Barney got the worst end of the stick on that. We didn't catch it, but Barney starting from the back, and Dan qualifying in P6, but starting in P11 due to a 5th-place grid penalty.
A driver that I do want to bring to attention is Hums, aka Matt Hummel. He I believe he downloaded the game last night, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he fares. I believe he's only ahead of the 2 people that have disqualified.
Wow, what a legend.
Yep,
We're all
definitely
rooting for you. But for now, we're watching the action out front. They've got 5 lights, and they're off. And it's a slow start from Berberto. Tries to move over to head off his competition, but he is losing spaces as Aston Martin's still out in front. It's Siggy up to P2. A McLaren out the outside, off the track, comes back inside. We've got a little bit of action from the Alpine. A little bit of wheel bumping there, maybe a broken wing. And it's Freddie Razzle in P1.
And Marino's lost quite a bit of positions down in P8, P9 actually. Dan Gooda actually jumped his teammate there. G up into P7.
It's a Haas off the track. Rejoining, hopefully safely. And Freddie Razzle already a 1-second lead as Buzzcott jumps Siggy. And the move is done. Some hard racing here. Siggy is not going to give this one up. On the battery, right behind Buzzcott. How late will they break?
This is just giving Freddie all the time he needs. He's already up 1.5 seconds.
And Siggy fighting back wheel to wheel with Buzzcott. All the way through these chicanes. Buzzcott going to have the inside line here. And so Siggy falls into place. And oh, he gets so close to him.
Towards the back of the grid, we have Dan Gooda and OG going side by side. Dan Gooda trying to make the move down the inside. Gets it done. Actually, OG comes back at him. They're going wheel to wheel. And Dan Gooda makes the position, but he goes off track slightly. As Pylon is into the pits for what I believe will be the hard tires. Yep, he believes this is the faster tire on this track. Optimum strategy from the McLaren garage. We'll see how he fares.
Interesting. There's no wing change. He's just going straight for the fresh tires. What
That's
a
Buffalo
move. And we have a
Trace.
yellow in Sector 3. It's Buffalo Trace. What a
Probably-
strategy this would be if we had a safety car with
As there's a
Pylon pitting.
Mercedes. Mercedes spun.
Oh no, it's Siggy.
Ziggy spun in the S's. That's tragic for him.
And he lost all sorts of places. 13 places now. As Buzzcott sets the work after Freddie Razzle, he's got a bit of a gap behind him to
And-
Berberto.
And he's missing his complete front wing. There's no wing on there. He's lost a lot of time. He's gonna have to limp it back all the way to the pits and try to capitalize on people's mistakes and just make up the positions in the 50%.
Yeah, in a 25% race, this is a nightmare scenario for Siggy. Unfortunately, we're sad to see it. He is going to need a safety car and then some.
So Buzzcott's already closed almost within the second of Raz. Believe DRS will open up next lap, so it's gonna be crucial to stay within that 1 second. But they're both just pulling away from the field, 2 seconds ahead of Berberto.
Indeed, Buffalo Trace around again and stopped on track. Into the wall, in fact. And getting going very slowly.
All I'm saying right now, Matt Hummel, who downloaded the game last night, is beating Siggy, who's a race winner.
Yeah, he's keeping up with these two Williams drivers. So this man might have a future in this league.
Does have some, as I believe Siggy's around again. Yep, as he tries to just get into the pit lane.
Well, meanwhile, Buzzcott has caught up within the DRS range of Freddie Razzle. Both of them have about the same ERS as well.
Someone that's taken great advantage of the sprint race is Dan Gooda, who went from P11 after the grid penalty up into P5 now, right on the back of Cushy. So he's definitely making an impression here, going to try to put himself as high up as possible for that 50%.
Freddie Razzle moves defensively to the inside to block off Buzzcott from making a move.
Yeah, these
pretty
guys
far
are
back there, but
these guys are constantly in lobbies together. They're always practicing together, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they fare in an actual race. We've seen it plenty of times before, so they always provide a clean, tight battle, not always clean. Raz taking out Buzzcott in Bahrain, so see how they go.
yeah, we don't want to see a repeat of that. But Buzzcott's going to have some DRS here as Marino takes a 3-second time penalty for track limits. The first penalized for that here today. Freddie, a little bit of weaving there. Buzzcott's too far back anyway, but...
And those 3-second time penalties can be even more crucial in a 25%er.
Well, oh, the undercut tried by Dan Gooda, but it results in a little bit of contact. There's wheel to wheel with a Ferrari now into the S's. Who is going to yield first? It is Cushy. Off the track and yielding the position to Dan Gooda. What a move from Dan. Very bold. I'll say that. Hopefully no damage for him. But there was some contact there between the Alpine and the Ferrari.
And now he's going to want to push to try to get out of that DRS zone. He is vulnerable to Cushy right now.
And here we go. Buzzcott along the main straight with DRS. Freddie Razzle is weaving around a little bit, but Buzzcott now on the outside. It's a late braking move from Razzle. Can he keep the position? Buzzcott's going to have the inside now. Very close wheel-to-wheel action.
Right on the limits of the track. And they're keeping it clean. This is beautiful racing here.
Wow. A defensive masterclass there from Raz as he retains the position, but at what cost? He is really having to drive aggressively here.
Yeah, Buzzcott still sticking. Oh, Buzzcott actually makes a little bit of a mistake, goes too far off track, keeps it clean though.
Yeah, just trying to get a good run into turn one. He's got the DRS, and he's passed him.
This B-Bry who's had a terrible season is spun around again.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, so Raz still being able to stick on to Buzzcott. I think these guys are going to be fighting for the whole race. I think pit stops will definitely determine something.
Nearly spun there, Raz, actually. Good save.
Yeah,
he's lost some time, though. Maybe pressure on now.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do during the pit stop phase. Does Buzzcott try to go for the undercut? Does Raz follow him in? Or does he try to overcut him? Or undercut him?
Well, you've got Roberto now with a 3-second time penalty, so that kind of pushes him out of this contention here, unless the top two get a penalty themselves, which may be possible. We've seen both of them go off track at least once. As Buzz got a little snap there right in front of Raz, so we see him save it. Well, it's OG really right close. Behind Marino.
Yeah, there's OG and then there's Nux right behind him, but Mr. Robot behind her, and then Fitz, we'll just say Fitz for now. Fitz right behind him as Raz actually dives into the pits. He's going to try for the undercut.
So there it is. The second driver has the choice 2 undercut, and it is done.
So we have Cushy, Robot, and Freddy into the pits, all going to the medium tires as expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Not question that you go to the mediums here. So, how fast of a lap can Freddy put in? Can he make the undercut work? We've got a yellow flag. It's a McLaren.
It was Pylon. He was spun when the Ferrari of Cushy tried to go around the outside. I believe he just had a little bit of oversteer trying to like give him space.
Well, that strategy not working out so far. Hard tires a little too slow, perhaps.
Or just not as grippy. But I was talking to prior to the race, and he believes they are the fastest tire around this track.
Well, he's still down on P15. We have some drivers yet to make a pit stop, though, so maybe he can overtake them. We're back on board with Freddy Razzle. And what can he show us on his outlap here on the fresh medium tires? Does he have enough pace to get this done?
So he's into some clean air. He's going to want to try to run some fast laps here to try to pull away from Buzzcott. As Roberto's into the pits, same with Dan Guda, and same with Marino. The Alpine's choosing to double stack here.
Oh, that is interesting. The game obviously a lot better about it now than it was before, but even more interesting than that, Buzzcott's still out on the track. 6-lap-old soft tires, and you got to think that surely Freddy has the undercut completed here, but does Buzzcott think he's going to have the fresher tires at the end and that'll be enough?
A bit like Max and Lewis here at USA, where Max went for that undercut, had the worst tires, and had to hold off Lewis on the newer tires. But I believe Raz should be able to get this done because he's in a lot of clean air. Buzzcott gonna have to really be pushing these laps to try to keep. He's gonna come out behind Raz. There's really no question about it.
No question, and he is putting in some good laps right now, some good corners. He looks calm and composed, unlike earlier when he was wheel to wheel with Buzzcott. He looked a little shaky at times, but here he is putting in some very good laps. As Barney's going to make a move on Fitz. They both have DRS. Who's going to break later? It's the undercut for Barney Goldmere, but he is not able to gain the position yet on Fitz. And he dives up the inside. That was a dangerous move.
Ooh. You know, Barney, he's not the greatest seasons. He's had a lot of penalty points. Had to serve a race ban last week, actually. So, wants to try to clean it up because those penalty points will carry over, at least half of them, and you do not want to start the season one race away from a quality ban.
No, you don't. He's clearly has some pace, so he just needs to be patient and get it done. As Buzzcott comes into the pits,
and he might come out behind Barney.
Oh my goodness, that would have been awkward,
No,
but he's right in front of him.
Yep, that's great, because if he came out behind Barney could have really held him up for us.
Oh, wait a minute.
But
he's ahead of Freddy. I'm sorry. I thought he was...
Freddy. I thought the cars were inverted.
I agree. I thought the same thing.
So maybe Fred just didn't do great outlaps, or Buzzcott is just way too quick on them old softs.
Yeah, I guess the soft tires, with some serious pace left in them, it's Buzzcott who's now ahead, and he's got DRS, ironically. Oh, he does not have DRS, I should say, so I was going to say ironically from the Aston, but no.
The current leader of the race, Nux, who I believe has yet to pit. She's on the medium tires. Really good driver. I've raced with her in the past in previous leagues. She's really good at racing, and her and OG are going to be going at it right here.
Yeah, OG on a very different strategy. They're going to switch tire compounds. So Nux in a pretty decent position here as OG comes into the pits, put on the medium tires. And he really took a sweet time getting into the pits there, OG. Interesting.
So that double stack from Alpine, looks like it's hurting them because Dan got in P9, but Marino all the way down in P12, and I believe they were right behind each other when they came in for the pits.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see. Lack of communication there, lack of teamwork. Nevertheless, Dan Gutta up to P5. So, feeling pretty good about the qualifying session so far. As Freddie off the track a little bit, Roberto picks up another time penalty.
Looks like Buzzcocks just going to be able to win this easily because he's going to have newer tires at the end. He's already 2 seconds ahead of Rizal. It's really... Freddie needs to put in some banger laps here and hope that Buzzcocks makes a few mistakes.
Yeah, it seems like Buzzcocks just has the pace right now. As you said, with the fresher tires too. Raz, no ERS. This one might be done and dusted.
I believe Barney and Marino are fighting down the straight. Marino good looks for the outside. Gets squeezed a little by Barney. He goes in too deep, but still keeps the position.
You've got battles all over the place here. It's Mr. Robot. Wheel to wheel with OG. Mr. Robot they're both on fresh mediums. And it's OG gonna keep the position, but he's vulnerable now to Flosy right behind. And they're 4 cars all very close to each other. And it's Barney who made a little contact there with Flosy.
As Nux dives into the pits, you might actually come into
and
that
there's
path.
contact between the Alpine and the Haas. They're into the wall.
That's killer for both of their races. We said this before about Marino. He's had a lot of incidents on track as Siggy picks up a 3-second penalty.
What a disaster. Pieces of wing everywhere. Both cars damaged. No wing for the Haas. There was a battle of 4 or 5 cars all together, and unfortunately that was the result.
This has worked out perfectly for Nux, actually. Don't know exactly where she started, but definitely not that high up. She started on the mediums, took advantage, and now she's on the fresh softs, looking to try to make a move on maybe Cushy in the future.
Yeah, she's gained 10 positions already in this race.
Yep, and this is what a sprint qualifying weekend could do. Someone that didn't qualify well, puts on the strategy, has a good race, and is up into P6 for the start of the race.
And Barney with fresh softs gets by OG in the DRS zone, but goes over the curb and picks up a 3-second time penalty for his troubles.
Maybe some illegal overtaking off track. Didn't quite see it, but...
Yeah, OG struggling to keep up with Barney at the moment. On the fresh soft tires, providing a bit too much pace. As Mr. Robot picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. We have a yellow in Sector 3. It's Buffalo Trace again, I believe. Yes, it is. A driver who is catching, though, it's Nux on the fresh soft tires. You imagine she's going to be able to get Cushy here on the used mediums. She is catching up rapidly.
Yeah, you could just see the amount of grip she has through the S's, and it's just right on the back of Cushy. Was like a second, I believe, behind on the previous lap. Now within 4/10.
And there is a Williams around in Sector 3, and it's DRS activated. Not even DRS activated. Cushy slowed down, maybe to try to get DRS or try to get the slipstream. It did not work. And
maybe
Nux
he's
takes
kind
the
of
position.
thinking maybe he's kind of realized she's too fast. Don't want to lose time fighting her and let Barney maybe get you as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know that it really needed to do anything. She was going to get him all on the straight with DRS, but nevertheless.
As Roberto's around, going the wrong, doesn't seem to have damage, but it's going to get in the way of the Ferrari. Actually comes back on cleanly, so he's going to go back to P5, and again, that's what I was saying. Great qualifier, but not too great in the race.
Yeah, he's had his share of the issues. He's had some time penalties. As Nux sets the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:34.3.
She is absolutely flying because she's going to be on the back of Dangita right here. She could start in the podium places for the Grand Prix.
Absolutely could. As the Ferrari goes well off track, it's Cushy. Tried to make the overtake on Roberto's stick, but no go. Speaking of Nux, Nux is catching Dan Guda also rapidly. 2.5 laps to go. Nux is absolutely,
She is absolutely flying.
Gonna be able to get into the podium places here.
It's going to be a matter of that
Oh, and what a
time.
move! She had it done, actually, backed out of it. Thought, you know what, I want DRS, actually. And it's a late braking move. A lot of indecision there from the Haas driver. Not really what you want to see, but she's got DRS, and that's going to be enough to get the move done.
Dangita is still trying to... Nope, he's ran out of ERS. So now Nux has to use those tires to really push here to try to get out of the penalty distance.
Yeah,
She
she's
does
got
have a
2 laps to
3-second time
do it.
penalty.
And at the rate she was flying, you would think that it's possible, but maybe not the easiest thing in the world as the tires start to go.
Tires shouldn't go. She's only on like 2-3 lap old softs. These should be good for the rest of the Grand Prix. She's already built up a second behind Dangita, so right now, with as penalty stand, she'll come out P4, and Dangita will start from the podium position.
Yeah, but she's already making up ground
Yeah,
pretty rapidly.
possibly going to gain around a second a lap. Barney Goatmere also flying. That alternative strategy is looking really strong because remember, he was disqualified during qualifying, and now he's up into P5.
That is right. He makes the overtake on the start-finish straight from Cushy, and Roberto's got ideas of his own as well, right behind the Ferrari driver.
And Nux has already gained 5/10 on Dangita through first sector, so she's on pace to start from the podium.
Absolutely. Cushy not going to get the RS here. I don't believe. He just fell out of range as Pylon picks up a time penalty down in P11. But Roberto behind him will have the DRS. He's on the battery. Cushy on the battery defending. What's going to be around the outside? A little bit of a wheel tap there. Who's going to break later? It's Roberto. Gets the move done. Squeezes Cushy out of the way. Up to P6. But he's got a time penalty and Cushy does not. So all Cushy has to do now is stay with Roberto, but easier said than done.
Dangita's ran a bit wide. I wonder how many warnings he's on for a penalty. As Nux continues to pull away, she's gained almost a second and a half that lap. Could be very clear for a P3 start.
Yeah, it seems inevitable at this point.
He has ran out of battery though, so I wonder how much she. So has Dangita. Everyone's gonna be full push this lap.
Yep, final lap of the sprint race. Yellow flag in sector 2. It's an Alfa Romeo.
That battle in 8 and 7 with Cushy and OG, separated by 1 point in the driver's standing. It's gonna be that battle is gonna be interesting to watch this race, and for the 50%.
Yes, indeed, and it's a 3-second gap now built by Nux to Dan Guda, so she just needs to maintain that. And it's a P3 start. Meanwhile, Marino picks up another time penalty. He'll be starting from close to the back. And Buffalo Trace has retired from the session.
Yeah, really a nightmare of a session from him. Really spun around. Nightmare of a session from Siggy, who started from P4 P4 all the way down in P12. As Buzzgod takes the checkered flag in first place, starts on pole position. Freddie Rizal, P2. Nux will keep P3, and then get a P4 in his first race back in D3. He actually finishes wheel to wheel with Barney Goatmere there.
He did, but he had a 3-second time penalty anyway.
Yoshi
interesting stuff.
P6, OG P7, Roberto P8,
Yeah,
P9,
Mr.
Fitz.
Robot, look at that. 500s behind Fitz in the Alfa Romeo. Very close battle.
Really, really good finishes here. Um, a lot of drivers really happy. I know Barney for sure. Barney and Nux, I think the biggest movers during this race, really showed. I believe they were both on the alternate strategy, which might be faster here. So D2 and D1 drivers might be looking at that. But also, they just had a great race. They didn't really make any mistakes and just let other people in front of them make the mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Barney making up 13 places in the race. He's the biggest mover. Right behind him, it's Nux with 10 places ahead. So probably your drivers of the day. But it's not over. We have a full race coming up ahead based on this finishing position. And it's going to be good.
So what's new? Buzzgod will be starting from pole position. So he dances on the podium.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're handing him a trophy for that, Ethan. You know, that seems a little premature, but...
Oh, remember Valtteri Bottas got a trophy, right? In
you're
Italy?
right.
The Fangio trophy, I believe. So
That's right. You're right. Of course, they hand out trophy for everything. That's perfectly fine. You're right. My
you
mistake.
spend this much money for the sport, you gotta hand out trophies for everything.
Why not? I'm not sure what Buzzgod's doing there with his fingers. We don't condone, any use of illicit substances here at the Zoom Racing League, but nevertheless, we're on to the 50% race. As you said, it's Buzzgod out front. Yeah, we'll see if Freddie Razzle can have some more pace in the actual race itself. He appeared to be a little bit slower than Buzzgod in this session, but everything changes when you have more laps and have more time. The strategy could be different. We'll see what Aston Martin can deliver. And it's his teammate, Barney Goldbeer, 2 places ahead of OG, so maybe a little bit of team strategy coming into play as well. We'll see.
Yeah, that Aston Martin team has really come alive. I believe one of the biggest keys is Raz or Freddie Razzle. He's kind of become a team leader for that Mercedes the Mercedes engine. You know, all the teams throughout the whole league. Toto Rivas has said it himself. He's really a team leader, always wanting to practice, and it's shown to pay off. He's definitely improved a lot since he started in D3. He's definitely D2 pace as he showed last week, and it's gonna be interesting to see what he could do this race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to set up this 50% race for you. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the full race for you in just a minute. Welcome back. This is Lee Hall again, here with Ethan Patel, Zoom Racing League Division 3 action. It's round 9 of 10. We're in the United States. It's the US Grand Prix in COTA. Thanks for joining us, Ethan. How are you tonight? Are you excited for this amazing sprint session? It's just concluded, and now it's the full 50% race.
Oh, for sure. We saw a lot of movers. We saw a lot of people that dropped down that's going to be looking to recover. So great, different races for some drivers for sure during the sprint race, and that's going to change how they race for this race. But at least they get a whole nother race to make up positions, as I believe Losi's having some trouble.
Yep. Just a real quick look here at the standings. Driver standings, Buzzgod obviously out in front, well out in front. Not much of a chance of him losing anything now. In fact, I don't think there is any chance. But the battle for P2 and P3 down the standings is heated, well underway. You've got a lot of drivers who are pretty close to one another. OG, Siggy, Axelize, Raz, all in contention. And Marino and the Alpine a little bit farther behind. And the constructors, obviously Red Bull again, well out in front, but it's a hot contested battle between Ferrari and Aston Martin for P2, Alpine and Mercedes right there for P3 and P4.
And with Raz and Barney both into the top 5, this could swing the P2 constructors in Aston Martin's favors, which would, I believe, Toto Rivas would love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Aston Martin with the ability to if they keep doing what they're doing, the ability to take the P2 in the constructors. In fact, you probably say that they're the favorite at this point to do it. But Ferrari a bit of an edge. And how can Cushy drive here today? We'll see if he can hold them off. It's a formation lap. The start of 28 laps of this Grand Prix. It's 20 laps of COTA here in Texas. It's Buzzgod out front, Raz right behind him, and Nux in P3.
That Nux in P3 kind of shows, I've said it so many times today, but shows what sprint qualifying does. Someone that races really well and does have great finishes, not the greatest of qualifying, maybe gets into incidents as well, but starting from P3, it's going to be hard to go up from there, but you're going to try to like limit how far you go down though.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is a unique format us here for the Zoom Racing League. It's the driver's choice of what tire they start on after the sprint qualifying, and we have a complete mix of tire strategies here with the medium and the soft tires. We got the top three all on the mediums, whereas Dan Gutta, Barney Goatmere, and Cushy all starting on the soft. So very different strategies here, Ethan.
And I believe it's a two-stop either way, so it's going to be interesting to see what drivers do, unless you go mediums to hards. But according to Pylon, even though he said the hards were the fastest tire, he was sliding around so much during that sprint race and actually decided to abandon them for this race. So, don't think the hards are viable. I think it's going to be a two-stop both ways. And safety cars will definitely play a factor if there are any.
Yeah, absolutely. The ideal strategy, of course, is the pit under the safety car. You may be able to stretch a one-stop if you're really good with tire management, but a two-stop here is known to be pretty quick. So we'll see. You've got the tower in the background. It's a nice shot. Some big movers to look for at the start. It's Marino all the way down to P15 on the soft tires.
Fred and Nux made some contacts, both disqualified from the formation lap. Will be on really cold tires going into turn one, which this turn one could lead to a lot of carnage. Thankfully, we avoided it in the sprint race, but here's another chance for carnage.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wasn't a disaster in turn one, but there was a whole lot of action and a little bit of wheel banging.
Yeah, but nothing too serious.
Yeah, I imagine we'll get something similar again. Hopefully not too serious again, but we'll see.
Hopefully no one decides to Valtteri Bottas this and go bowling, but
yes, please no Bottas.
hard braking zone turn one, so this could be critical.
Well, here we go. They've got 5 lights, and they're off. It's a pretty good start for Freddie Razzle. He's going to be right up alongside, and Barney Goatmere with a heck of a start. What on earth? And oh, he sent up the inside as Dan Gutta.
Gutta just sent it on everyone.
Oh no. Cushy has been spun around, contact everywhere. Dan Gutta just sent it up the inside.
And Siggy all the way up into P6.
What on earth is happening right now? Barney Goatmere right behind Dan Gutta. Barney Goatmere with the start of his life overtook everybody there at the start. He's up to P2. It's 2 Aston Martins ahead of Buzzgod now.
Yeah, so here Dan Gutta and Barney are going to want to try to pull away. They're all on the soft tires right now. So they're going to be on the faster tire right now, and they will have to eventually box onto the mediums where Freddie and Buzzgod will be faster.
Roberto's going to get the move done on OG as well as Pylon. And drivers getting overtaken left and right here. It's Nux.
Pylon decides to go on the inside of Roberto.
Fighting with Siggy there is Nux. And my goodness.
These two have had great battles dating back to ages ago in the old game. In a different league, they know each other so well on track and always provide clean racing.
Yeah, a little bit of a snap there from Nux. She saves it. But Siggy is hot on the trot.
Barney really sticking on Dan Gutta here. No DRS right now, but you don't want to be that like you don't want to have someone that close to your back without DRS, because with DRS it's just going to be easy for an overtake.
Yeah, absolutely. As Marino gets the move done, potentially on Bayrams, down in P13. Nope, still battling through the S's actually. Still no DRS as Marino up the outside and around and finally gets the move done on Bayrams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flosi having some connection issues down in P14, unfortunately.
Ooh, and oh yeah, so Flosi I believe joined back and had a bit of a spin as well.
Yeah, interestingly, the pace that Buzzcott had over Razzle, Mr. Razzle Dazzle, is not here at the start of this race, but we'll see. Maybe Buzzcott just taking his time, biding his time, waiting for a mistake from Freddy.
They are on different compound tires, of course. Actually, no, they are on the same compound tires, so my bad. I inverted the Aston Martins again. Maybe Freddy was just running a bit more of a race setup, and Buzzcott ran more of a, I guess, qualifying setup?
Yeah, his contact made by Barney into Dan Gutta. And Dan Gutta is going to pick up a 3-second time penalty for track limits before that, but Barney looking for the overtake, nearly lost it and tapped the side of Dan Gutta.
That Williams garage is just having a terrible weekend, terrible season from them. Gonna look to bounce back maybe next week, trying to end the season, finish on a high. But Bayrams spun around again.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. So finally, DRS will be enabled here. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Some slow-moving cars there. Can Dan Gutta fend off Barney Goatmere here with the DRS? No battery usage yet from Barney.
Yeah, so Barney might have been playing the team game there because him fighting with Dan Gutta has allowed Fred and Buzzcott to stay in the mix on their medium tires. They really needed to work together on the soft tires to pull away from them, but I think Barney is talking to Fred and saying, I'm trying to let you win, bro.
Yeah, it could be. Barney really sticking to the back of Dan Gutta here. Very closely.
Buzzcott goes way off the track. He's done that like twice at that same corner, one in the sprint race and one now. Interesting to see how that could maybe come back to him later in the race.
Yeah, Barney's got the move done. And Gutta thought about diving back up the inside like he did at the start of the race. He thinks better of it though. And Barney's got P1. Of course, now the awkward scenario for Freddy Razzle is how do I get by Dan Gutta and also defend against Buzzcott, who is sniffing the gearbox of the Aston Martin driver.
Dan Gutta's already fallen out of DRS range from Barney, and Fred will have DRS, so he should be able to make the move here rather quickly unless...
He might have just gotten back in at the last second, I'm not sure. Yeah, he did. So Dan Gutta is going to have DRS, but barely, and, you know, based on... You're correct that he's falling out of range here as Freddy Razzle moves all the way over. Against Buzzcott, wheel to wheel. Who can break later?
They're sticking right on each other. This is close battling.
Neither of them will yield. And it's Siggy trying to sneak up the inside himself. Almost using Buzzcott as a battering ram there. And they're still wheel to wheel.
This is so close. They did this during the sprint race and they kept it clean there. And they still managed to keep it clean. That is a great racing from all of them to keep it clean, not crash out. As Buzzcott keeps going off track there.
Yeah, he did, but it's Freddy Razzle with the penalty, in fact. A 3-second time penalty assessed to the Aston Martin driver. And Siggy's going to have a great run here. He got a better exit than both drivers. Is he going to send it up the inside? He taps Freddy Razzle there. Actually, was space for him there. Is Siggy going to be able to get him moved on? No.
SS is so hard to get a move done. Siggy's gonna back out, but that's gonna allow Buzzcod to get a run. But no, they keep it clean, fall in line.
Yeah, really awkward there. Buzz got squeezed out of the way, and he's down to P5. He's got the battery, though. I think Buzz God's just biding his time. Waiting for the right moment.
Next move on Berberto, who goes off track again with the 3-second time penalty.
Meanwhile, Dan Gutta is sticking with Barney.
Dickwall gets a penalty.
As Siggy is going to go up to the podium places with the DRS. And Freddie trying to make a move back at him. And that was a huge mistake because now Buzzgod is able to use that opportunity with a bad line from Raz. But Raz coming right back at Buzzgod.
So Siggy also got bent out of shape there with a little bit of snap oversteer. So they're all struggling. But they make it through cleanly. But now Siggy's pulling out of DRS range because them two are fighting in the back.
Yeah, again, Buzz got way off the track. I think he might be doing that to avoid penalty. That's my guess. Speaking of which, wheel-to-wheel action again. It's Dan Gutta with Barney Goatmere. Barney Goatmere fending off Dan Gutta, but just barely.
They're going to be looking to go for round 2 once they get to sector 3. All so close to each other.
Yeah, the 5 of these drivers seem destined to battle until the end, or at least until a pit stop. Speaking of which, when do these drivers on the soft tires start thinking about an early undercut to try to get ahead of this action?
Lap 7 maybe? Lap 8? You're getting real close here to undercut territory. Buzzgod down the inside on Siggy. Very clean move with DRS. But Fred also tries to get involved here. Thinks better of it. Backs out, I believe. Siggy runs to the back of Buzzgod.
Yeah, a little over eager. A little trying to over-defend a little bit against Raz behind him. Hopefully no wing damage.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Even though it's not like a terrible incident for Buzzcod or even Siggy. Oh, as Siggy does dive into the pits.
Yeah, we're gonna see if the wing changes here. It does not.
Nope. He's just thinking undercut here. He's gonna try to get the better of Buzzcod and Fred. No, Fred tried the undercut against Buzzcod in the sprint race. It didn't quite go to plan. Will it work for Siggy here?
Yeah.
Who will
how much traffic is he gonna have?
He should have none. He should be clear of Mr. Robot and company ahead of him for the time being. Yep, so Dan Gutta and Barney are going to have to come in, but Buzzcod and Fred on the other alternate strategy, starting on the medium tires, will be running longer in hopes for potential safety car.
And it's a yellow flag in Sector 3. It's Abrams around. The wing's still attached. The car now back moving again. Yellow flag cleared up.
It's going to be interesting to see how these differing strategies pan out as Dan Gutta gets another 3-second time penalty. Really struggling with time penalties this weekend, and will probably come back to bite him at the end of the race if he's in the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Buzz got right on his tail now. Seems like the crossover has happened. Seems like the medium tires are faster than the soft tires.
Yeah, if I'm Barney right here, I'm full pushing, trying not to lose time with them overtaking from behind and just going into the pits right now.
Yeah, well, interestingly, neither of them tried to cover off the early pit of Siggy. So maybe they are going longer. Maybe they're on, you know, maybe trying to work out a one-stop strategy. I'm not
Yes.
sure.
So I'm thinking a potential one-stopper for them. I believe that would require around lap 12-ish, lap 11 for a pit stop, and then going on to the mediums from there. But I don't know. I really like that two-stop. The aggressive strategy tends to really work out with some of these drivers.
Yeah, Dan Guda moving all around here, weaving. He doesn't have DRS, and so Buzzgod's gonna get the move done up the inside.
Yeah, so Barney's lost around a second this lap, so the tires are really starting to fall off.
A little bit of contact by Raz into the back of Dan Guda, not meaningful enough. But the attack from Raz is delayed now because of that.
Ziggy's still in clear air, only 3 seconds behind Mr. Robot. Hopefully, Robot goes into pits if you're Ziggy and gains some more clear air. As the soft runners still stay out, so I think they're really stubborn here and going for one stop.
Yeah, without question. And Raz taking advantage of a mistake by Dan Guda up to P3. But he's already a second and a half behind Buzzgod, who is going to get the RS from Barney and going to get the overtake done on Barney. As OG is wheel to wheel with Fitz, both on old medium tires going into the S's. Who is going to yield? It's OG who yields. And the Red Bull driver is stuck down there in P11, not really where you want to be.
Barney round now is going to potentially be overtaken by Buzzgod. He's going to lose Barney a lot of time fighting with him, and on alternate strategies, this does not go well for Barney.
Yeah, Buzzgod crowding him and gets the move done. Well done from the Red Bull driver. Takes the lead of the race. A little bit of snap there, but he saves it. And now the team orders come into effect here.
Don't necessarily think so. They're on different. Actually, if I was, yeah, I would let Freddy by as he's on a different strategy, and those softs are definitely wearing out. Fred's
Problem
having
is,
trouble staying on track.
He is having trouble staying on track. That's 2 corners in a row that he really missed the apex and ran wide, and he's losing time.
The robot picks up a 3-second time penalty. A lot of drivers with 3-second time penalties. I believe Buzzgod, Nux, OG, Stiggy, and Flosi are the only ones without time penalties right now.
Yeah,
As
Cushy into
heads
the pits for Ferrari. Is that a one-stop strategy?
That's
Seems
a
early.
two-stopper. He
It
goes
is.
into another set of softs.
You're right. Good call. So that is a long time on one set of soft tires, but he might be very
Yeah.
quick on these on the new set.
Really interesting. That was an interesting choice, as you mentioned. Really long on the set of softs. When you're going for the two-stopper here, you want to go aggressive. So you're going to use up all your tires, then just box. You're going to use up all the softs, then box. Then you go into the mediums and you think about the tire conservation, making it to the end of the race. She'll have better tires. And it's going to be interesting to see if Cushy decides to extend the stint or try to limit the amount of time that he has to be on the mediums.
Absolutely. As we see OG coming around, he's actually going to go up the inside at the last minute of Fitz. But Fitz holds him off. OG did not brake late enough. And now Siggy here on fresh mediums is joining the party. So, what can he get done? Drivers in ahead of him have not pitted, but they're still fighting for position. Siggy getting held up, way held up by OG here. You can see he's got way more grip. Doesn't want to get any wing damage.
And Guda and Barney both go into the pit lane. Fighting on the hard tires,
Okay, so one stop from Dan Guda.
and Barney goes on to the mediums. those hard tires, we've had one driver try them out, Pylon, said they were no good, very slippery. As Marino stays out on the medium or on the soft tires into P5, he's gonna have to box eventually.
Yeah, Barney emerging right in front of this battle between OG and Siggy, right in the middle of these three. He's right behind Fitz. So that's actually kind of a perfect place because he's going to have DRS and hopefully able to get the move done for his sake. On Fitz along the straight here with the fresh tires. But Siggy had a move done on OG and went wide into turn 1. And made a mistake and allowed OG to retake him.
It's just Siggy's gonna be losing time here. It's gonna be interesting to see how that goes with Buscott and Fred and where they come out after they box, which will be in a few laps. So he goes around the outside, switchbacks it. Now he's gonna be on the outside of this corner. Wheel to wheel between Siggy and OG. Siggy gets a better run out of there, makes the move down the inside.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
And gets a time penalty, maybe a legal overtake there.
Did he make contact with Fitz?
Don't think so. That wing looks to be intact.
He was ghosted
But-
for a second.
Yeah, Siggy, interestingly, made the overtake off track, got a time penalty for it, but did not get an illegal overtake warning for it. So,
But he's going to have
Pretty
DRS here.
interesting to
Gets the move done up the inside of Fitz. This Cushy says the fastest lap. And oh my goodness, OG thought about making a move up the inside. The space was there. But ultimately, OG not the driver going for those moves today.
so OG and Fitz are on 11 old lap mediums. That is not part of Siggy's race, so Siggy's already pulled away from them, and he's gonna be hoping to keep pushing and maybe get that time back from the pit lane or from the pit. So it'll be interesting to see what Buscott and Fred decide whether they do a 2-stop or a 1-stop. But if they're doing a 2-stop, they should be boxing around now or next lap for a pair of softs.
Yep, absolutely.
So in the sprint race, Fred pulled the trigger first in the pit lane. Didn't quite plan out for him the way he expected it to. Will he wait for Buscott to do it this time around? Or will he try the undercut again?
Yeah, as Nux comes into the pits, she is the first one off of that strategy from P3.
So she will most likely be going on to medium, or another, not medium. She will most likely be going on to softs for a 2-stopper here. Goes on to hards for a 1-stop.
Interesting.
So I can drive a routine and do that. She comes out ahead of,
Oh,
right behind it.
contact
She's
between
she
Dan
spun-
Gutta and Nux, and that has knocked Nux off the track. Doesn't appear to be any wing damage, but that was quite a collision.
She's lost 2 seconds there. Those hard tires are really slippery. You're gonna be losing a lot of time on them. So you're gonna hope you could make up the positions from the pit lane, but I don't really see a point in going for the 1-stop here. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. But for now, OG on 12-lap-old medium tires. He's still battling with Fitz. He's going to have the DRS. He's got plenty of battery in the tank. Goes up the inside. This is part whatever it is between these two drivers, and OG's got the move done nice and early this time.
Fitz is right on the back of OG.
Another battle we want to watch, it's Cushy, who has fresh soft tires, currently stuck behind Dan Gutta on the one-stop strategy for the soft tires. He really needs to get moving here.
Yeah, he's on the aggressive. He needs to be in go mode right now. To absolutely send it, because you don't have to worry about saving these tires. So he opens up the DRS. So does Dan Gutta, so he won't be able to make the move here, will he? Yeah, he won't.
Oh, sends it up the inside on Dan Gutta.
Just when you think he won't make the move, he does.
What a
Reminds
move.
me of Max Verstappen, and it actually makes it stick. I did not think he was close enough to make that move. Those soft tires just have so much grip.
And he's already thinking about a move on Fitz.
He gets around the outside, better traction. Still behind him though. Definitely will look to make it into the next straight. Yeah, right here, the amount of traction Cushy's gonna get. He's gonna get a ride on the back of Fitz right there, and it should be an easy overtake unless Fitz, I believe, is burning his ERS. As
Yeah.
Cushy's actually out of ERS.
Both of them out of it, but you imagine it's a late break from Cushy, and it is up the inside. It's Cushy. Move is done. Dan Gutta also trying to take advantage here. Going around the outside of Fitz. Dan Gutta, we've seen, not a driver afraid to send one up the inside. Did it in turn 1, lap 1 at the very start of the race and took the lead. It's gone downhill since, but
The amount of bravery it takes to do that, you have to really respect the other driver and really calculate that move, because if it goes wrong, it'll go really wrong.
yeah, absolutely. It looks like Cushy's going to get another move done here on Ochi. The old medium tires not really going to be a threat. Oji not finding it very hard either.
Yep, so Cushy, the only driver that boxed onto a new set of softs, I thought would be the preferred strategy around here, but I guess not. So he's on new softs. He's going to be looking to push here, because he's going to have to box again for his last pit stop, which will be onto mediums.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do here to make up this time, but one advantageous safety car can change the race entirely.
Yeah, not even safety cars. Poor tire management could honestly hurt some of these drivers. We've had drivers get punctures in the past, OG in France, I believe. So it's hard to gauge, because this track is meant for a two-stop. So if you're doing a one-stop here, you're very close to puncture territory. Busgod stays out again. Try to go in. Fred does decide to go in, so he's gonna pull the trigger on the pit stop right now, looking for an undercut.
Yeah, there it is, as Nux up the inside of Ochi here. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel
Yes.
action. Oh no, Nux loses the control, smashes into Oji and into the gravel. Oji also spinning as a result. It's a disaster. Is Oji gonna dive into the pits? No, he stays out. Nux is gonna dive in the pits though. You imagine there's wing damage there, and that's a disaster because there's only 2 laps on the hard tires. Meanwhile, Freddie Razzle, who has gone again for the undercut on Buzzgod on fresh soft tires, so he's going to have to bring these soft tires 13 laps to the end.
And I don't think he's gonna do that, and if he does, he might be a little crazy. I think he could be going for a late two-stopper here, and he also has his teammate just ahead of him, so he should be in a lot of clear air to push. But if he is looking to make these tires to the end, he does not want to push, because you do not want to burn out the softs. As Buzzgod responds and goes into the pits.
Yeah, that is interesting. It would be a long way to take. I guess you can do 2 stints of about 6 or 7 laps on the soft tires, but seems suboptimal. I don't know. And he picked up another 3-second time penalty right there as well. So Mr. Razzle is seeming a bit frazzled at the moment.
Yeah, but he's again, that's Barney Goatmere. Buzzgod comes out behind Barney. He's actually sandwiched in between the Aston Martins. This is going to be huge for Freddie. But again, those 6 seconds of penalties will come back to bite him.
Yeah, absolutely. Buzzcott with
Yeah.
so much grip right behind Barney Goatmere. As OG now comes into the pits, puts on fresh set of soft tires.
Yeah, right here, I believe, is the window.
Oh my gosh, it sends it up the inside. Buzzcott. That was a wild move, very late move. Barney gave him the space though.
I don't think Pylon's had ERS this whole race. His red light is still flashing. I think he should be an easy overtake here for Buzzcott, as long as he doesn't hold him up too much, which he is. It's gonna allow Fred to get real close.
Yeah, Fred's got the move done on Barney. Maybe he let him by, I'm not sure. That would make sense if he did. And look at all the grip, he's just right around the outside. And the move is done. It's Buzzcott up to P2.
Pylon
Roberto
goes
in the
into
pits,
the pits as
because
well.
he's now P1.
It looks like all, so everyone's boxing. Right? Did Roberto just? I believe Roberto had a bit of a lag back.
Yeah, that'll lengthen your pit stop.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what Cushy could do, as he's gonna have to run these soft tires and then box again for another set. And it looks like right now he'll come out at least P9.
Yeah, Buzzcott completely in control of this race. Freddie Raz behind him has got the time penalties. Buzzcott can just cover off any pit maneuvers that Freddie makes. So pretty comfortable out there. The only X factor here is that Barney Goatmere is still out there on moderately fresh medium tires.
Yep, and I think this is gonna be interesting right here. I think the top three is basically set in stone as long as they don't make a crucial error, because Buzzcott, Freddy, and Barney are 4 seconds ahead of Siggy, who has to pit again because there's no way he's gonna do 20 laps on the mediums, and then also Cushy, he's gonna have to pit again because there's no way he's doing 17 lap on softs. So they are almost 7-8 seconds ahead of the person that can actually overtake them, which would be Marino.
The McLaren driver of No Lip getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And Siggy dives into the pits. We got a yellow in sector 3. That is Babrams of the Williams, who is in last place. Sends it up the inside of Dan Gutta on the fresh soft tires. It's going to get it done around the outside into the S's. There goes No Lip. McLaren driver getting the move done. And Roberto's going to be thinking, yeah, I can do that too. But can he? A little bit awkward there. AlphaTauri needing to make the overtake quickly to stay with the McLaren driver on the same strategy. And there he goes, just so much more grip. He's going to need to get on the battery to make the move, and he will. No battery left for Dan Gutta on the hard tires.
Yeah, Dan Gutta really struggling out here with those hard tires. Definitely not the move. The two drivers on there are having a really hard time, so. Now, someone that was flying through the sprint race kind of fell back into place, I guess. Not great wording, but Nux all the way down into P13 after starting from P3. As Cushy goes into the pits for his final set of softs. Maybe a lot too early in my opinion, because these ones you really just want to be able to full push throughout the full stint and get as many positions as possible. So it should come out ahead of Mr. Robot in P9. And then there's yellow flags with Reno losing positions.
Yeah, trying to take those mediums to the end.
Yeah, gonna be a tall order for sure. Should be doable though.
Yeah, well, he's going to need to save some fuel, too. The fuel light is on. Is not what you want to see with 8 laps to go. Eight and a half laps to go.
Yeah, a lot of drivers choose to underfuel their car for less weight at the start, but typically when there's no safety cars, it's hard to save fuel.
Yeah, it's a tall order for him, but we'll see what he can manage.
As I was saying before, the top 3 looks set in stone because Roberto, who's the next car up, is 13 seconds behind Barney. Now, those new softs can do wonders, but I don't think they can get you about 2 seconds a lap.
No, I don't think so. That's for sure. The top 3 does absolutely seem set in stone. However, what will the order be? That is the question.
Yep, it's going to be those penalties from Freddie Rozelle. Going to come back to bite him as Barney is within 6.8. And depending on how many warnings Fred has, he could be on for another penalty here.
Yeah, absolutely. But the question is, do they have to pit again? Or are they going to bring these soft tires to the end?
Yeah, you're right. I want to say in last season's USA race, tell me if I'm wrong, I believe a bunch of people had to box at the end of the race because they realized their soft tires were not going to make it. These guys, I do know, have done a lot of practice, especially Freddie, Buzzcott, and Barney. They're always in there, so I think they should have the tires, like they know how much they could do on the tires, how much they can push, so should be fine.
We'll see. But Barney only 11.5 seconds back from the leader, Buzzgod, so if he does need to pit again, he's going to have to overtake Barney on track.
Yeah, which is not a tall order, you know. Barney is not faster than Fred and Buzzcott, but he could definitely hold his own and won't let them gain that much time on him.
Oh, this Flossie sends it up the inside on the medium tires, but the switchback is done by OG. A great move by him to keep the position in P10.
So, interestingly, when Cushy boxed, I figured he'd go into another set of softs. Actually, no. It's because he stayed out too late on that first set of softs, so he's actually on the mediums for only 7 laps. So it's an interesting strategy call from him. I would have stayed out less on those softs and went on to the mediums a bit earlier.
Nevertheless, he's got no penalties, and he's got fresh tires and space in front of him, so the world is his oyster if he can keep it clean and make up some places.
I mean, considering he was spun around on, I believe, turn 1, he's in P17, he's gotten his way up to P9, potentially P7 or 6 after penalties and after he gains a position on these new mediums. Definitely a great result for him. Not the greatest of season for him and Ferrari. They were definitely constructor title contenders, but they kind of fell back when Axelize started problems, as Cushy's fuel light is also starting to blink.
Yeah, he is on the edge there. Gonna need some fuel-saving maneuvers from him. And you see him doing it, actually, as we're on board. Flossie sticking to the back of Ochi here as Mr. Robot overtaking Fitz. Soft tires quicker than the hards. Got a yellow in sector 3.
There's a Haas around Flossie.
It's Nux.
And Nux. Both of them were around.
And Nux struggling to get back up to speed. And struggling into the wall. Well, she started off the race in P3. She's going to end the race way back down the order, unfortunately. Not what you want to see from the Haas driver, but such is life.
But definitely showing pace there. And at the end of the season, again, you're just fighting for a good seat. You know, I believe Mercedes is picking first next season. You want to be on a seat that's going to have potential for Constructors' Championship.
Absolutely.
She showed her pace during the sprint qualifying. Didn't go too well during the 50%er. Definitely want to look back at the race and see what happened.
Well, Buzzgod's still comfortably out in front. Got a 5-second gap in between him and Freddy. He's going to have some dirty air, though, from Nux and DRS as well.
Yeah, I think the top three should... I think everyone should be good to make it to the end right now. No one's really on dead tires yet. The top two, their tires will definitely start dying at the end of the race. They will be on like the limit, but they should be fine.
Yeah, 4.5 laps to go
Especially
for these soft tires.
Considering they really don't have anyone to fight with, they should be fine.
Yeah, you think there's enough of a gap in between them to not make any serious mistakes, no serious lockups that damage the tires too badly, as Marino takes another time penalty down in P8. Here is Siggy with DRS, right behind McLaren No Lip. Both of them on the same strategy. Moderately fresh soft tires to fight with. And it's P5 they're going for. Some wild lines from both drivers here. Neither of them has much battery to speak of.
Yeah, I think Pilon is just afraid of energy, you know? He just doesn't want ERS. You know, that little bit of weight from the battery, I think he's just doing weight reduction.
Yeah, could be. Well, he's up to P5, so you can't argue with the result. As Roberto picks up another time penalty as well. Cushy has finally caught up to the back of Marino with 3 2/3 laps to go for the Ferrari driver. He's gonna have DRS. He's got much fresher tires, and obviously again no penalties.
Siggy's gonna have DRS here, but no. Pilon crucially got DRS from the lap car of Buffalo Trace, I think.
Yeah, he did. Defensive movement there from the McLaren driver. Sticks on the inside, prevents an overtake possibility. And Siggy stuck behind for now. Cushy as well, too far back from Marino, but he did have DRS.
Siggy picks up a 3-second time penalty.
That's going to be crucial.
That was actually crucial because he had a 3-second penalty, which would have put him ahead of Pilon in front of him. But now they're on level pegging.
Yeah, so pressure on now for the Mercedes driver. Going to have DRS down the main straight. Pilon going very defensive all the way in the inside. Wheel the wheel now. It's the switchback for Siggy. Oh, great move. Yeah, that's going to get it done. They're still battling. But Siggy is ahead right now with a beautiful switchback maneuver.
Yeah, that was pure class right there. Maybe should teach other drivers how to overtake. That was beautiful. As Siggy goes off track a lot and loses time, I think.
Yeah, some
Really
strange.
went off track.
Pilon also going off track here. Some strange maneuvers from these drivers. As you see Siggy trying to break the slipstream. There's not much battery there to work with for either driver.
Pilon is literally on 0 right now.
It's a
but he
very late
sends it-
move.
He sends it around the outside. Siggy covers it off. He almost had it. And it was clean too. Gave him so much space.
Very nearly.
I believe Cushy's made the move on Marino. And Marino's still sticking it in the inside, but Cushy makes the position. But Cushy goes off track, inviting Marino to...
Oh
And
no,
they touch.
Marino!
Just into the wall with Marino DNF'd. Marino should still get a point for his efforts as he's finished 95% of the race, or 90% of the race. But that is tragic.
Yeah, we'll let the steward sort that out, but you hate to see that. Really unfortunate.
Roberto with another time penalty.
Yeah, he's really racking them up. 9 seconds of penalties here.
Does Pilon have some damage? This car looks really understeery. Or is he just having trouble with the lighter fuel load? I don't know. That car looks really understeery.
Yeah, he's lost time to Siggy in front of him. No longer in DRS, so that fight is over. Siggy gonna try to hang on to P5.
I don't see any wing damage, but yeah, he's losing a lot of time. There has to be something on that wing because he's not slow by any means.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that he did pick up some damage somewhere.
As we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, the leaders are on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Buzz got comfortably ahead, followed by Freddie Rizal, who's also comfortably ahead of P3. Barney Gobier, another double podium for Aston Martin. As Raz gets another time penalty, 12 seconds of penalties. Someone who last week in Saudi Arabia in D2 got 0 time penalties has 12 seconds here.
Yeah, and Barney only 2 seconds away from being able to snatch P2 from his teammate. Of course, that's going to be probably impossible to make up on one lap. But Freddie needs to be careful.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to get it in one sector here. So it should be good. As Barney actually got no time penalties throughout that whole race. So it was actually great for him as Roberto in P4 has 9 seconds.
And Buzzcott coming into the pits.
So Buzzcott wins and he goes into the pits. Maybe that Red Bull has a power problem and they need to shut off that engine immediately.
Freddie comes home for P2.
Actually drives through the pit lane, so he got a drive-through penalty here for being British. Can't do that in America.
Yeah, that is illegal. Barney Goldmere rounds out the podium places. A great day for Aston Martin.
So Siggy takes P4 ahead of Roberto. Struggled through the sprint race. Lost a lot of positions and then gained it all back in the 50%.
Yeah, great day for Siggy. A really solid drive from Roberto. I know I think he was in and out of the session as well. So, pretty heroic effort from the AlphaTauri driver. Some decent points salvaged by the McLaren and the Ferrari down there in P6 and P7. A little bit of a disappointment from OG, I think, down in P9. I think he's got the pace for more than that, but there was a lot of action here.
Cushy finishing ahead of him.
Yeah.
That 1 point difference getting bigger. Uh, Nux not too happy for sure. She started up in P3 for a great sprint race. Didn't do quite as well in the 50 percenter. I have to take care of something out of the booth. I'll be right back for interviews.
All right. Well, congratulations to BuzzGod. Siggy gets driver of the day. That's well deserved. 2 podium places for Aston Martin yet again. But it's BuzzGod in dominant fashion. What's new in Division 3? The Red Bull driver taking the fastest lap point as well. So a full suite of points from him. Everything possible. Won the sprint race. Won the full race. Fastest lap. Dominant fashion for BuzzGod. Freddy in P2. Barney P3. Siggy. Followed by Roberto, No Lip, Cushy, Dan Gooda, OG, and Mr. Robot running out your top 10 finishers.
Yeah, I'm back. What a great weekend for racing here in USA.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the drivers. We only had 1 DNF. And I'm not sure whose fault it was, but it was due to a collision. So,
Yeah, and he'll also get 3 points for the P17 technically because he finished 90%. But definitely going to want to look back at that race and see what he could have done differently.
yeah, absolutely. So BuzzGod, I don't know if the stewards do anything if you drive into the pits at the end. I don't know, but I mean he won the race really. That's for all to see. Maybe they give it to him, maybe they don't. Nonetheless, let's bring in the podium finishers. In P3, it's Barney Goatmare. We're gonna bring in Barney. Barney, congratulations on the podium. It's P3 for you. It was a long race, and you took it well. How do you feel?
I feel great. Finally got a podium that isn't gonna be taken away, hopefully. After getting disqualified in during qualifying, I was upset, but I knew I had to make it count during the sprint race, and I was able to climb back up to P5. So
Yeah, I saw you get disqualified, and you and Nux were absolutely flying during that sprint race on the soft tires at the end. Can you walk us through that?
yeah. Well, after I got disqualified, I decided to start on the mediums because I knew I had a pace advantage over a lot of the drivers, and I got a really good start during that. And also, I knew the fresh softs would be so quick at the end, and so I was able to keep the car on track and finish out in front.
How did you get disqualified from qualifying? We missed that.
I'm not quite sure. So I got hit by a Williams. I was off the racing line trying to let people through who were on hot laps, and I don't know. A Williams just was flying and it just crashed into the back of me. But I'm pretty sure they said that that they hit somebody else, and then they were trying to get out and move out of move away from the collision, and then they ended up hitting me. So
Oh, that's unfortunate, but you had a great recovery drive here today. The sprint obviously enabling you to do that. Congratulations on the podium, and we'll see you next week.
all right, thank you.
Here, Reese.
All right, we're going to bring in Freddie Razzle now. Freddie, congratulations on the podium. Obviously, you were looking at P1 there. Maybe a little bit of disappointment that you weren't able to take BuzzGod here, but still P2, a double podium for Aston Martin. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts?
Shit.
All right, so disappointed that you didn't win, I guess?
Nah, it's just like, you know, people actually have to start learning to like brake and like stop punting me through the back. It's just annoying, man, because like I was P1 for like at a time, and then like someone punted me, and then just that made Buzzgod just go in the lead, and that's just annoying. Because obviously I wanted to win in America. But yeah,
Well, sorry to hear that. The disappointment obviously visible. Still, you had a great race, a lot of wheel-to-wheel action. I know it was really entertaining to watch. Hopefully, you can recover from this and give Buzzgot a great challenge in the final race. Ethan, anything you want to ask?
The strategy. So you tried the undercut twice, once in both races. It didn't quite work out how we all expected it to. Was it just a lack of pace from you, or was it Buzzgod going really fast?
bit of a mixture of both, you know. But he's just too quick. Just get him out the league.
Yeah, so
Honestly,
are
get
you
him to,
saying
like,
Buzzgod
PSGL.
is the fastest British driver?
Debatable, but certain tracks.
Are there no British drivers in D2?
Connor, I think. Yeah, but yeah, it'll be me and Buzzgood. I mean, it'll be exciting for next year because it'll be more tighter through the division and through the races. But yeah, I think D3 it's just me and Buzzgood up there. Really, it gets depressing, and then yeah, got nothing else to say.
You
Really,
say that, but you, Siggy, and Buzzgod were having a battle for the ages through the first few laps. It was great to watch. You all managed to keep it clean and no like real big contact per se. So bravo for
Well,
that.
I wouldn't really bravo it. I mean, I got punted in that battle like 5 times. So,
Well,
but yeah, I mean,
nevertheless, we are looking forward to seeing you both in D2, where the rest of the drivers will be quick as well. Really looking forward to next season with you guys both in Division 2. Some hot action there. Good luck next week. We hope it's a better result for you, and congratulations again, though, on the podium.
yep. Cheers for the broadcast.
All right. And now the top finisher, as usual, almost as always, now you can say it's Buzzgod. Buzzgod, congratulations on P1. You have won yet again. And a little bit of I don't know what to call that at the end there, finishing in the pits. What's that about, Buzzgod?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank Joel, Gareth, and Spinini, and Queen Elizabeth II for getting me this win. Because ever since I lost Silverstone because of my stupidity, Siggy's been saying you got to win this American GP, or otherwise you'll never live it down. So that's make sure I won. And the pitting at the end, I just had to.
That sounds
I
like an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, Fred deserves it. We all know he does. I mean, immediately after he messaged me, calling me, I don't think I can really say it, but yeah, he said some mean things, so I think it was deserved.
Yeah, some people do deserve it, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past them. Great battle throughout the race. You obviously pulled away at the end, but that battle between you, Siggy, and Fred was pretty great. What were your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, that was really fun because I know it sounds cocky, but I've been out the front for quite a lot of seasons, so whenever I get a chance to battle, it's really fun. It's for, like Bahrain, for example. So those like first 8 to 6 laps were really fun. Battling all those people. So yeah, that was good.
Well, it was very entertaining to watch. We had wheel-to-wheel action for basically the first half of the race, almost non-stop. It was great, very entertaining battle. But in the end, it was dominant. In the end, it was Buzzgod and P1. And in the end, you took home all the points that you could. Congratulations again on P1. Freddie, obviously looking forward to next season and you two battling there in Division 2 with some faster drivers around you as well. Any thoughts on who you're going to sign with next season?
I'm probably, based off the sorting tables and based off, I mean, D2 is going to be really hard next season. There's so many good drivers there. I think I'm probably going to be 3rd/4th team. The 3rd/4th best team. I think I'm maybe like McLaren or Ferrari. I'm not
And thanks again, everyone, for tuning into the broadcast. Congratulations to Buzz God. Sorry I cut him off there, but Buzz God just congratulating him on another victory. We've got a Division 2 race coming up right now, so I'm going to hop off. Stay tuned for that, and tomorrow, Division 1. It's more action in the Zoom Racing League. Thanks for stopping by.